Happy Sunday, everybody. This is Mike Dooley, Jambo Fellow Adventurers, and welcome to the 5th installment of our masterclass based on the book Life on Earth, Understanding Who We Are, How We Got Here, and What May Lie Ahead, depending on how well you listen. No, it's not how well you listen, it's how well you apply what you intuitively know. So I get you off the hook that way. But it's great to be back here. I'm broadcasting live from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where we've had some balmy weather in the 50s. So nice, so sweet. Let me get off the share. So, today we're going to be talking about how to go bigger, run faster, and live longer. This is the application section of the program. I know somebody's going to ask, why do I wear a hat? Like you asked, why do I wear t-shirts? Because, it's very cold in the winter when you don't have hair. And besides, I think they look good on me. So now we are really shifting gears in this master class, going to application. We're going to be talking about how to use some of this theory and thereby blast forward with traction, optimism, confidence, no longer having a sense of vulnerability that some weird thing that you don't know about reality could somehow block you or get in your way. Not even you can block yourself. You are so pegged to succeed. But what I want to do is, because there was at least one, I think several questions to the effect of, getting clarity on the cursed hows. That also lies ahead in this chapter of the masterclass. So basically what I've done in chapter 5, through asking my higher self how I can get traction and do this for myself, perhaps if it's not obvious, I should tell you everything I teach, everything I share has come from my own toolbox, my own improvisational way of leveraging the universe and engaging the magic. All of this stuff is time tested by me and by now many others who have read my work. And most of what I'm going to share with you today is not that unique or novel. Although I trust there will be some nuggets that are shared with a different perspective than perhaps you ever heard them shared before, and thereby you will get your money's worth. So, first we're going to talk about our thoughts, then our words, and then taking action. And then we're going to talk about taking action in a whole different way than otherwise ramping up a heightened sense of expectation. If you will, this entire chapter, until the end of it, is all about getting clear on your end results. And if you recall from digital GPS navigation analogy, there's only two things that you've got to do in order to bring about personal transformation. Number one is know what your end result is, your desired end result, not how you're going to get there. Okay? Number two, car and gear, take action, baby steps. That's it. That's it. Other than having a sense of peace, which I trust is being imparted to you through this masterclass by understanding the ground rules, the nuances, by connecting the few dots that our little brains can connect. When you've got that foundation, then these two steps are really, really easy and quite naturally automatic. But you've got to have that foundation, or otherwise, I know I'm harping at the beginning of every chapter on theory or knowledge, because it is perhaps the number one thing I see holding people back from going bigger, running faster, living longer. The number one thing. Number two thing is not taking action on a regular basis while not messing with the cursed hows, and we're going to nail that together today. But the number one thing, more problematic for many folks who are otherwise of a spiritual inclination, number one thing that holds them back from living happier, more fulfilled lives is they're not grounded in the truth. They don't understand about them being the eyes and the ears of the divine. They don't understand that tomorrow really is a blank check. They don't understand that karma, you are impervious to all karma when you understand the nature of reality. You are lifted to a higher orbit. They don't understand the lessons we talked about yesterday. I'm glad with the way that came out in yesterday's portion. You know, patience is a virtue. Patience is something we should all learn. Left at that, it's like, oh crap, I have to learn patience. Do I really? Can't I be a little bit impatient? Can't I push things along a little bit faster? But when you see the virtues and the dividends that our life lessons accrue, then all of a sudden these lessons are mere steps on a ladder to nirvana in our life, a life on earth, consciously creating and shaping our future. So it's this theory that is so critically important. It is the advanced program, if you will, before I get to the application. Well, we've already cracked the ice on the application with GPS analogy, because you could see how you fit into that. You've got to have a dream, define it in terms of the end, and then put your car in gear. And let me now spend time talking about using your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, your actions, to clarify, to crystallize you honing in and resonating with your desired end results. And then we'll talk about car in gear versus cursed house, etc. So the first thing I want to talk about is your thoughts. And like I did in the DVD Thoughts Become Things, I'm going to share some of the same lessons, but more tailored to this masterclass. Be on guard with regard to your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Be on guard with regard to your thoughts. Okay? You don't want to be having these pity parties in the middle of the night or in broad daylight. It's not working for me. Yeah, I must not believe I'm worthy. Yeah, no, it works for all of my friends, but it doesn't work for me. You know, this kind of monologue silently to yourself or to a best friend on the phone, you know, who totally gets you and understands you and feels your pain. You know, they're just going to let you go because they love you so much and they see the therapy you're administering to yourself. But now, knowing what we know, if you just let that monologue continue without any mitigation, you are creating more of that which you dislike in your life today. And while you may be well justified in lamenting the jerk and the moron and the bozo who did you wrong, I mean, you've earned it. We've all earned it. But what is it going to do for you? Nothing. Other than sharing perhaps with a coach or a therapist or the right person at the right time in a very, very isolated way. You want to end those conversations. So when talking about our thoughts, first we want to turn off the static, if you will, that is simply not serving you. Once you've aired what you needed to air, you want to turn it off. And you can find relief in your immersion of truth, like this book you just got from me, this masterclass, and the countless other books that are out there, including in the appendix of this book. I give you my recommended reading, the books that have knocked my socks off, about 15 of them, since I started this journey almost 36 years ago, 37 really years ago, when I was born. So you want to turn off the static, and then of course you want to change those thoughts for thoughts that are clear on your end results. Now this is beyond enjoying today, because we're talking about living deliberately and shaping tomorrow. So of course you're going to enjoy the day, and you don't want to overdo your immersion and fantasizing about tomorrow. We'll talk about that in the guidelines in just a moment. But you do want to change the channel to a happier place, and from time to time in a day, particularly when you're visualizing, which I highly encourage you to do, you want to create a motion picture in your mind where you are already the person you've always dreamed you'd one day be, with confidence, creative, surrounded by friends, laughing, and living the life you've always known was there for you to live. You want to dwell on that. And we'll talk about tips and tricks in my visualization guidelines in just a minute. But I wanted to throw out a caveat here and let you know that, I shared this already in the masterclass, but to reiterate, because now we're talking about negative thoughts, positive thoughts. You are so inclined to succeed that your positive thoughts are at least 10,000 times more powerful than your negative thoughts. And so, as I shared, I believe last night, if you visualize for 5 minutes in the morning, probably ideal, or when you get home from work or before you go to bed, but I recommend morning. It will offset a day's worth of worry, because a day's worth of, I hope I didn't do this, I shouldn't have done that, did I say too much, is it going to boomerang and backfire, does he like me, does she like me, will she call me back, all of that worrying is just fritter. You sit down once a day for about 5 minutes to visualize, there's clarity, and because those thoughts are in alignment with your nature to thrive, they're like grabbing on, they've got traction, they're going to do your bidding for you from the get-go. Not that you should be a worrywart, but what I'm saying is when you can't stop that runaway train of fear, and I know well, to this day, I have my little bouts with it, fear not. Worry not that you worry. Just do your best to simultaneously sit down and think in a minute or two some happy, peaceful, abundant, healthy, thriving thoughts. And if you worry during your little 2 to 3 to 5 minute visualization, that's okay. That's how powerful your mere attempt. It's like the game is totally rigged in your favor. And I love to share with audiences, life is not fair. It is so not fair. It's like you are so pegged to succeed, to thrive, to be joyful. It's like the cards are stacked in your favor. In that sense, life is not fair. You're going to win. You're going to hit a home run. You've done it before. You smile more than you frown. You laugh more than you cry. You have clarity more than you're confused. You have health more than you're sick. You have money more than you're broke. Do you see the evidence everywhere of your inclination to succeed? So, all of that is to say that while you ought to turn down the volume of the pity parties, avoid them altogether if possible, for the times that you are just freaked out because of fear and you can't stop that runaway train from tormenting you, you're still gonna succeed. Just do your best. When I worry now, I'm like, okay, you just worry your stupid little head off, your loving, beautiful little head off, your bald little head off. But simultaneously, I'm going to think a few thoughts that my day's arrived, that I've made it through the abyss, that I'm in happier times, that I'm laughing and surrounded by friends, lots of money, lots of whatever it is you could possibly want. And that will always be enough. And when it comes to your little quiet time of creative visualization, I've got for you my trusty 6 guidelines that I have probably shared in every book I've ever written, every adult book I've ever written, all the way back to Infinite Possibilities. Some stuff is just good to be reminded of. So given that this is the traction section, the shaping section of the masterclass, let's go through them. Number 1, and a rationale. Number 1, for creative visualization, which simply means sitting in a quiet, peaceful place, in a comfortable chair. You could even do it lying down. My brother does it with loud music. I do it in silence, whatever floats your boat. There's no laws here. The law is thoughts become things. I'm just giving you some suggested guidelines for how you might steer your thoughts in a direction that will serve you. So I'm suggesting once a day you're going to visualize with your eyes closed probably, and imagine that you are the person of your wildest dreams living the life of your wildest dreams. You imagine going to and fro, etc., etc. And I've got a tip for you in a little bit if you have trouble creating images in your mind. Fear not. But number 1, my first suggestion is you only do this exercise 1 time a day. Why? Because that's all you need for transformation. If you do it more often than once, and you certainly can, there's a risk that you're going to spend so much time dwelling in the future, this future world that you want to inhabit, where you are all that you could possibly be, that you're not going to be living your life in the here and now, the only place that joy and drama exists. Now, some of us can imagine some good drama, but you want to be living your life. This program is about living your rocking life from today, not living your rocking life once your dreams come true. Because you will always have dreams that have not yet manifested, no matter what you manifest next. There'll still be something else, the divine sense of incompletion we talked about earlier. So just do it 1 time a day, and don't think that if you do it 12 times a day, it's going to be more powerful than one. One time with your full attention to the best of your ability, however distracted you may be, is enough for transformation. Then get back to living your rocking life and taking baby steps and doing what else we talk about in this masterclass. Guideline number 2, no longer than 5 or 10 minutes. Just don't go there. You don't need to, is the first primary reason. The secondary reason is probably if you push it beyond 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to start daydreaming about sex or something. And then you're going to get really mad at yourself and you're going to say, oh, I have adult ADD. Oh, I can't do this. It doesn't work for me. It works for you. You're doing it right now. Your thoughts already become things. Just do it for 5 or 10 minutes, and that's the maximum recommendation. I often do it for 1 or 2 minutes. My norm is 4 minutes. And usually I don't even do it on weekends. I mean, there's so much leeway and latitude that you're going to hit a home run. You're going to make this work. And too often I receive the sad email from somebody like, I don't think I'm visualizing right, and I'm not positive enough, and I get too distracted, and I don't know what you mean when you talk about imagine pictures in your mind. It's like, there was a note from the universe that spoke to this. It said something to the effect that if you even tried and sat down with a timer for 4 minutes, no matter how distracted you were, you did it right, and it will pay dividends. That's why you only need to do it 1 time a day, and that's why if you ritualize it, you're going to have consistency and guaranteed results. Awesome results. So no longer than 5 or 10 minutes, that's the max. You can do it for 1 or 2. 1 or 2 minutes, once a day, good to go. Now, I wouldn't do it when you're driving or even walking. You could. These are guidelines. But I would just give it some respect. You know, you don't brush your teeth while you go for a walk at night, do you? Or drive to work, I don't think. And so just give it some respect. Guideline number 3, imagine in your mind with your eyes closed every conceivable detail. Sights, sounds, colors, textures, aromas. Make it vivid, technicolor. Most of those details have nothing to do with your dream. You know, your car is shiny and you're washing a hood with a soapy, wet sponge and you feel the lines and the contours. Ooh, you know, the water's cold because it's maybe winter or it's evening or whatever. That doesn't have really anything to do with you acquiring or owning your brand new dream car. But that vision of you, soap suds on your hand, cold squishy sponge, washing that car, seeing it sparkle, the water's running off because you just waxed it, that makes the image more real, more realistic. I mean, you're suddenly in this other world, and thoughts become things, and the more vivid, the more real, the more emotion, which we're about to talk about, attached to that, the clearer the picture to divine intelligence, and the faster the manifestation. So put in sights, sounds, smells, textures, aromas, even to the degree that they are somewhat irrelevant. You're driving down the road in your brand new car and a fire truck goes by. So you pulled over and woo, checking out the fireman, the firewoman, woo. What does that have to do? It implies crystal clear that you own your car and this is a part of the day of your normal life. Picture yourself driving your brand new car to the grocery store that you frequently go to. Picture yourself driving across the lot so that nobody dings your car when they open their door or smash a grocery cart into it. You know, that makes the image much more real in your mind. That's why you go deep into the details and even pull in extraneous details. Okay, guideline number 4 is just one more detail, but it is the Mac Daddy of all details, and that is emotion. When you're doing creative visualization, you want to emotionally feel the joy, the elation, the happy tears running down your face because the dream already came true. Already came true. Not almost came true, not is coming true. The dream came true. I'm so happy. Everything's so great. Woo! Woo! I advocate in my Playing the Matrix audiences that you actually do a happy dance and hoop and holler and pump your fists and wave your palms. Just get into that joy. That's how I do my 1-minute visualization before creative writing for Notes for the Universe. I do a 1-minute just joy, the joy that I attach to having felt like I just wrote really well. Because I know what that feels like. I'm like, wow, I love my life. And so, before I write the next note, my visualization is just joy. I don't imagine myself typing. I don't imagine what I'm going to write about. I just go to joy, joy. And the only way that joy can be made authentic is if I write well. That's the ultimate end result, the joy, the emotion. And then once I start typing, which is car and gear, I am infused with creativity. I am infused with courage. I am infused with whatever it is I need to have whatever it is I put out as my desired end result. And if it's emotion, that's the ultimate end result. That's why we're here. Remember the drama. And the drama that we like is joy. And so visualize joy. Whew. So, now here's where I will speak to those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, and there's a lot of you. I would say 10 to 15% of my audiences fit into this category. They're just like, look, I close my eyes and the lights go out. It's dark. What are you talking about? Shiny car and soapy suds in your hand. I'm like, well, it's not like I'm there, so I think maybe you're trying too hard. But nevertheless, if you just don't conjure up images of any kind, sounds or whatever, when you're doing your creative visualization exercise, you may be at an advantage. Because just cut to the chase, go straight to guideline number 4 that we're talking about now, and for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5, no more than 10, you're just joy, like, yes, I'm so happy. Yes, my life is so good. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll help you. Yes, I have so much free time. Yes, I always say the right thing at the right time. Yes, I'm there. High five, my friend. Knuckle to knuckle. Punch. Just imagine warm embraces, hearing congratulations, voices that you know and love. You know, mom's calling or your kids calling. They're like, wow, I just saw you on TMZ in Saint-Tropez. Nice gig, huh? You're like, yes, I forgot to tell you, I was so busy. Just go to joy and skip all the other details. Wow, will you have something to talk about? Now, of course, this is just step 1, getting clear on your end results, and your end results can be joy. Period. Don't think you're just going to be happy. Oh yeah, the universe made me happy, but my car's broken and my girlfriend's cheating and I have chicken pox, but I'm happy. No. Putting out happiness like I've just been illustrating, that implies so powerfully that you're healthy, with friends, clarity, creatively fulfilled, with enough money to live life on your terms. And if you have expensive taste, the universe already knows that. It's all over it, man. And the only way you can be that rocking happy is if after you take your baby steps, there are enough serendipities and incredible coincidences that line you up for an amazing rocking life, not just emotionally, because the universe knows that for you to be woo-woo that happy, you're going to have some stuff in your life too. Not just love and smiles and hugs, but you're going to have stuff and phones and technology and cool cars and first-class airplane rides. Okay? That's what it implies. That's the power of emotion. Okay, so then we also want to mix into, okay, the guideline number 5 is put yourself in the picture. Like I said in the DVD and the book, The Secret, when you're closing your eyes, imagine your hands on the steering wheel of your brand new car, as opposed to third person, fly on the wall, angel in the sky, there goes Mike Dooley in his new car. No, it's like, you can do that, and I know there's schools of thought that advocate being like a third person and watching yourself out of body. I think that's probably very effective. I prefer to be in the car and driving, or imagine and feel your palm in someone else's warm palm. Imagine your toes in the sand as the two of you, hand in hand, walk down the beach. Imagine that you're walking through your new home. Imagine that you're whatever it is you want, but be there first person, experiencing it. The thing that this will avoid is you countlessly, endlessly daydreaming about your beautiful partner, but you're not in the picture. You know, you'll continue to see beautiful potential partners, but they won't really be yours because you haven't included ownership when you did your visualization. So be in the picture. You don't want your dream car to fly by on a blimp, right? As an advertisement, there goes my car again. I wish I had one. You want to own it. Guideline number 6, the best for last, deals with the cursed house. When you're visualizing, always and only go straight to the end result or beyond. In other words, and this is going to trick you a little bit, I want to test you here. Maybe you can type in the notes section what I'm getting at. Do not visualize your dream coming true. When you sit down and visualize 5 or 10 minutes a day max, do not visualize your dream coming true. Now, what's wrong with that statement? I bet you some of you, you already know. So go ahead and type it out if you want, and I'll tell you. If you're visualizing your dream coming true, that means you're in the throes, perhaps in a 5-minute visualization that starts out where it hasn't come true, and now by minute 1 or 2 it's coming true, by minute 3 and 4 it's come true, by minute 5 you're happy dancing. If you're visualizing that, you're square in the middle of the cursed house, because you then had to decide in your mind's eye, or your emotional eye, heart, how it came true. Was it a phone call from Oprah? Was it a big check from your biggest client or whatever? Instead, super easy, when you visualize, imagine that your dream already, past tense, came true. I mean, it could be a day later. It could be moments later. It could be a year later. And now visualize, okay, last year I met my great travel partner, and now we're looking for a home, and now she's cooking me dinner while I visualize, or he's cooking me dinner, and now, do you see, that vision, the only way that could ever be authenticated and manifested is if you meet the dream partner who likes to cook. Or whatever else it is that you put in your menu list that you would want out of a dream partner. Do you see, by going beyond the dream, the only way beyond the dream can come to pass is if the dream comes to pass. But now we're not visualizing, not even a little, about how it came to pass, which is all the more reason I advocate having general end results like abundance, joy, love, a rocking partner, creative fulfilling work. Because then the universe can say, oh, you might think creative fulfilling work will come from your painting, but actually it's going to come from your writing. Or you might think abundance is going to come from your sales position, but it's actually going to come from book royalties, or vice versa. By not having dreams that are immediate, like this weekend, or this contract, or this person, you leave room for that which you know of and better. This is totally my gig in playing the Matrix. It's a Hay House video course. I say that because it's well received. It's a rocking course. And if you're really like, how do I do this GPS? How do I have general end results? Well, the answer's there. I tell you enough here. But if you have questions, that is a great resource. Or come see me at the Hay House University in Las Vegas in March, I believe, doing Playing the Matrix. Not that you have to, but I'm saying there are resources and more clarity for when I have the time to talk about that. And I still have to talk about cursed house right now. So you want to visualize not how your dream came true, but the end result or beyond. Those are my visualization guidelines that are in the masterclass. Those are more than enough for you to have a powerful 2 or 3 minutes every morning. Let it be easy. And if you do daydream about anything, then too bad. You're done when the buzzer goes off. I always use a timer. Use your smartphone. And you're done until tomorrow. And tomorrow you'll pay a little bit more attention. Instead of dragging it out 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 12 minutes, half a day's gone by and I still keep thinking about whatever. Some heartthrob. So those are the guidelines. When it comes to your words, and cursed house is coming up, when it comes to your words, choose your words wisely. And if you hear yourself lamenting life, or people are difficult, and it's all an arduous test, and if I get to come back in reincarnation, I'm not. I've heard that so many times. It's like, that is the kind of attitude that brings you back. It's the old soul who's gotten to a place of life on earth totally rocks. Beauty and love and miracles everywhere. I could just stay here for eternity. Bam, they're gone. Okay, that's the goal. That's an old soul. Not I'm an old soul and I'm tired with people who frustrate me. I don't find any joy in life anymore. Oh, you're coming back. Okay? Because clearly you haven't gotten on this rock where you've given yourself peace of mind and seen the miracles, beauty, and love that you are drenched in right now. I wanted to say that a few classes ago, but now I got my chance. So your words simply curtail the lamenting to the degree you can, and even if you can't, supposedly, you're still going to succeed so long as you choose words that serve you. Say as a mantra, or model what you say off of Louise Hay affirmations. Solid gold. You can use her affirmations. You can use my affirmations. That's how much leniency and leeway there is. I love my life, particularly when you feel like you don't. I have total clarity, particularly when you feel like you're confused. Life is so easy, particularly when it feels hard. Notice these word tools, these affirmations, will always be said when you're not happy with something. So it will always be, like we were talking about the other masterclass, the other session a little while ago, your knee hurts, but you've got to focus on pain. You want abundance, but the bill collectors are calling. That's okay, that's normal. And so it's normal that your affirmations don't seem to reflect reality, but said in the present or past tense. These affirmations will come to pass and they will become your reality when done in conjunction with creative visualization, baby steps, and the like. So start saying things like, I'm surrounded by abundance, everything I touch turns to gold, I have the Midas touch, I am wealthy beyond any ability I could ever have to spend it, and I can't take a bad picture. I'm so photogenic. That's my old joke. I've been telling that one for 16 years. And actually it comes from reality, because believe it or not, and you won't, I used to take really bad pictures. So, how weird is this? I'm sitting in a room all alone, and talking to an inanimate object as far as my physical senses tell me. But I know you're there. This is the hook of life, knowing more than your physical senses show you. So use your words and then action. Pay attention like you do with your thoughts and your words, and curtail the negativity, the fearful stuff. And when it comes to your demonstrations, if you're always buying the low fat, the low diet, if you're hedging your heart in all relationships because you don't want it to be broken again, I mean, what do these behaviors, these physical behaviors, tell your inner witness about the confidence you have in blasting off, surrounded by friends that you can trust in total confidence? Nada, not much. So, curtail that behavior. If you can't afford all the expensive grocery items, or even many, buy all the cheap stuff, but at least leave the grocery store with one splurge, buy the most expensive sugar. Okay, or the most expensive cereal, or the most expensive hummus. Just that little demonstration shows your inner witness. This isn't the same old game anymore. Mike Dooley's totally changed. Prepare all systems for transformation. Combined with all else we're talking about, you will be unstoppable. So look for opportunities throughout your day. As was part of your homework last night, how can you act as if you believed you were worthy, that abundance was at hand, if that was the thing that you wanted to believe in, or that health was at hand, or that relationships were about to get started, and act like that way in a token act of faith. I'm going to talk now about the action, not as a token demonstration, not as acting as if, but car in gear. Totally changing gears now. At first, up until now, we've been talking about getting clear on end results and even demonstrating as if you were already the person that you've always dreamed you'd be. But now I want to talk about showing up, showing up, showing up. Car in gear. Okay, this is total application. All you got to do is show up. In your car, GPS navigated, all you got to do is put it in gear. Because if it's in park, the system is wired to not help you. Put it in gear, guidance is forthcoming. You can even go in the wrong direction. Guidance is forthcoming. Make a legal U-turn. And you will receive that guidance through intuition, through feelings, through doors slamming shut in your face again and again and again and again, while also knocking on other doors and trying other pathways simultaneously, somewhere you're going to get confirmation that, hey, there might be something here. Hey, I knocked on this door and that one opened. Hey, I think we've got something going on here, because you're taking lots of action. And that's a point I didn't know I'd be bringing up, but let me share it with you. You don't just knock on one door until the dang thing opens. No, that's not consistency. That's not persistence, as the universe once said. Persistence is knocking on all the doors, creating infinite possibilities with every different door you knock on. You don't want to be a micromanager with end results that are this close to you, and I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and I'm going to keep knocking until it happens. It's like, look, let it be easier. Okay, knock on lots of doors. Each is a possibility. You don't know where the universe is going to surprise you next, but you're creating opportunities for it to surprise you. That every additional door you knock on multiplies exponentially the speed with which divine intelligence can sweep you off your feet and carry you to the finish, not the finish line, the happy line, okay? So, what you don't want to be doing, this is the cursed how talk, you don't want to be knocking on a door and say, this is how my dream's coming true. I'm going to write a book, Oprah will love it, it'll sell all over the world, and I'll live happily ever after. This book will rock because the universe loves me. It's just an extension of me. Because my thoughts become things, I'm pushed on to greatness every single day. Mike Dooley said so. It's like that view of how and why you're knocking on that door turns that baby step into a cursed how. It's not what you did. It's how you viewed why you did it. And if you're going to take any notes, write that down. A cursed how is a cursed how, not by virtue of what you did, but how you viewed why you did it. That is the entirety of understanding cursed hows. So don't think this is a how, everything is a how. It only becomes cursed when you say, this is how my will shall be done. Woo! It might. Chances are great it might not. But because you've insisted on one path, fictitiously or falsely thinking that this is how GPS navigation works, because you've insisted on one door, an infinite number of other doors slam shut and gets deadbolted. Okay? Because you've not left room for it. You're like, no, I'm not going to go there. I don't have to public speak. I don't want to do this because the universe loves me and this door shall open. Now, sometimes that door will open. We're not excluding that door. Let that door be a door you knock on with a happy heart. Hey, my good fortune might rest here, might rest over here, might rest over here. Let me knock on all the doors and give 100% to all of them. This doesn't mean diversify to the point of you're working like a mad person 24/7. You just balance whatever work hours you have, 4 hours a day, to mix it up and try this and try that. And I want to speak to somebody who asked a question about their painting on the Facebook page. And they said, how do I know, some weekends are great, some weekends aren't great. What am I doing, what aren't I doing? Your end result ought to be, now there's a lot of ways to roam, but this is how I would suggest doing it. Your end result is, I see myself as a highly sought after, world-class, creative genius author, artist, okay? I see myself in galleries the world over. I see people crying happy tears at my creations, or reading my books, or buying my widgets. This is a general approach, creating possibilities. I see the big picture. For me, I am a highly sought after, world-class professional speaker. I am a best-selling author. I do not say, this next book must become a bestseller, or I'm not a good visualizer. That would turn this into a cursed how, and if it didn't become a New York Times bestseller, and which the jury's still out, I'd be devastated. Heck, I won't say I don't care. I'd really like it to be a New York Times bestseller. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. I already have 2. And I'm going to be writing many more. And I'm speaking the world over to audiences that greatly appreciate my message for a great fee. And that's what I insist on. But any one door, project, weekend, art fair, That's too much pressure. You're micromanaging. You ought to have that big worldview, and then within that worldview, diversify. To the artist, maybe you also like people and working with people. Maybe you ought to be a teaching artist at the same time as a gallery artist. Maybe, in addition to that, you're also very good with home interiors, and you should put that shingle out on the door and see what happens. Be out there in any number of ways, seeing yourself as a highly sought after, successful, wealthy artist, but don't say this weekend, that goal, this, that. That's too much pressure, that's micromanaging. And that wraps up our class. Let me go to a couple of questions right now, and then we'll do a little exercise. Okay, Q&A. You rock. Thank you to the Tars and back. Stars. Thank you, Karen. Okay, random. Laura. I know you have to be in it to win it, but does playing lotto tell the universe you're lacking money? That's a great question. No. This is, okay, so you're, amongst other things I trust, particularly great joy, you're also out to increase your finances. Super spiritual goal. So as I advocate in all of my work, you need to do what you can with what you've got from where you are. And if you want real fast results, do all you can with what you've got from where you are. And included in all would be buy the lottery ticket, man. Go for it. If you're cool with becoming rich that way, and there's nothing unspiritual about that, then go buy the lottery ticket. One would be enough. One per lottery, one per week. You don't need to do more. But it would never be all you do. You also need to move towards, or I recommend, because you can win the lottery, I recommend you move towards abundance through work, through career, through hobbies, through entrepreneurship, through writing a book, through giving speeches, through all else that makes your heart beat faster. So yeah, purchasing a lottery ticket in one sense speaks to lack, but so does getting a job. And there's, so does wearing your car seatbelt. Say that, hey, I could be a vulnerable statistic, but wear it anyway. So does getting health insurance if you had the option. Today you don't. But if you had the option, buying it says, hey, I might get sick one day. Buy it anyway. So yeah, absolutely buy the lottery ticket. In addition to so much else that you're going to be doing. Okay, next question. Brigitte. What if I keep being distracted by negative thoughts as soon as I try to picture something positive? Let that worry train worry. Go ahead and worry, Brigitte. I worry when I visualize sometimes. But you still can create, even if you force it and fake it, a little happy dance, a little joy. Oh yeah, I got a phone call. Yeah, I'm going to make the phone call. Everything's going great. You're so pegged to succeed, Brigitte. You can do that. Last question. I entered a contest to win a trip to Ireland. Do I visualize getting the phone call saying that I won, or do I imagine traveling in Ireland? Okay, this is point 6 of the guideline visualizations. Yeah, you can imagine getting the phone call. That's fun. But even more impactful, because you know what? More than you want to win a trip to Ireland, you want to go to Ireland and not have to worry about the money. Okay? And that could include, you have so much money, you don't have to worry about it. You're paying it, but you've got so much. So I would imagine I'm in Ireland, the Emerald Isle, going to here and there. What a place. I just got back a few months ago. I could live there, and one day I might. So I relate to you. But see yourself walking up and down the streets of Dublin, even make up what Dublin looks like to you. At the coast, the waves are crashing. You're going to some of the ancient ruins. You're there with friends. You're calling your telephone service provider before you leave. Like, what's the best international plan? Because I'm going to Ireland. In fact, call them up anyway as an act of faith. Don't switch it yet, but get the rate done. And just see yourself. And then you can go beyond Ireland. Imagine you came back and you're thinking about Ireland and you're telling your friends, it was so much fun. And I met somebody there. Oh my gosh, I almost didn't go because I didn't have a soulmate, but I found my soulmate in Ireland. Now, if you already have a soulmate travel partner, that's not a good thing to visualize. But good question, and yes, you can do all of that. For the exercise. All right, everybody please. I'm going to make this 2-3 minutes. Close your eyes, relax, 2 feet on the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to give you a guided visualization that's very, very general, an example of what you can do yourself. This is one of my live I've done this in one of my recordings. It's also in Leveraging the Universe, I think, but it's very popular, so I'm going to give it to you guys. You're sitting on a veranda at a beachside mansion. You're all alone. It's dawn. You can smell the salt in the air. You can hear the seagulls screeching and squawking away. You can even hear the waves crashing. That's how close this magnificent home by the beach is. And you just got up, you've got your coffee or your Coca-Cola or your tea, whatever it is for you, or nothing, and you're sipping it, and you taste the happy tears running down your face. And the reason you're so happy is because that house is filled with the people you love most on planet Earth. Family and friends have gathered from far and wide to be with you at this house that you are taking over for a week. You're thinking of buying it, you're not yet sure, it's one of your options, but right now it's not important whose house it is, except it is the designated celebration house. And the reason they have all gathered is because you've invited them there to celebrate all of the amazing transformations that have been happening in your life the last 6 to 12 months. I mean, it is just beyond the pale. They've flown in, you help some of them fly in. The house is so big, they each have their own room, their own en-suites. Some of them have just shown up from nearby bed and breakfast because that's where they stayed because your house was so overflowing. They're all gathering for breakfast. You're so happy. Until you have this sense of, wait a minute, everything was so well a second ago, there's something not quite right. You feel so much joy, a joy you didn't even know you could hope for, yet you know that there's a few people visiting that are going through a really tricky patch in their life. And suddenly, you went from feeling like everything was perfect in the world to now your heart is longing for those in your home, those who adore you, that you equally adore. You want them to feel the bliss and joy that you now feel. And so while you're still on cloud 9, you suddenly become keenly aware that others right now would not claim to remotely be on cloud 9. And so you're thinking to yourself, how could you have done this otherwise so that they would have been included, that you could have brought them along on your coattails? And you feel a bit of an emptiness because of their perceived sense of sadness or incompleteness. And then suddenly, after that last sip of mimosa, you've got clarity. And you realize that it wasn't that long ago when you were in their shoes. I mean, what, 6, 12, 18 months ago? And you felt broken. You felt confused. Things were going great and good, but there was too many things in your life that weren't, and you were like beside yourself. And yet, those things, those blemishes, those chinks in your armor were exactly what caused you to buckle down, bear down, attend the masterclass, read this book, read other books, work with your thoughts, words, and actions. And it was actually that low point in your life that helped you harness your energies, gather your energy to be in a place where you now are, surrounded by friends and laughter and love for a whole week at this seaside cliff. You needed to go through what they're now going through, and you know that your arrival to this place, oh man, it was destiny. Not that destiny exists in an absolute term, but this is just the way you roll, man. You were going to get to this place. You know right now, hearing these words, you're going to get to that place in the sun, and you're going to laugh, and you're going to say, oh, it could have been harder, and I still would have gotten here. That was a little bit too easy. Next lifetime, I'm going to challenge myself even more. You knew you were going to arrive. It was inevitable, and it was the slippery patch that helped you get there faster, surer, and even better. And now you realize that just as it was inevitable for you to get where you are, and that the slow parts actually helped you get there, this is exactly true for everyone in your house, even those who are going through hard times right now. This is going to help them. Every challenge we've already reviewed in this masterclass is a gift and an opportunity that could not come any other way to you than by you seeing it through and thereby rising to another orbit that was otherwise unattainable. They're going through their baptism, if you speak, to reach that point of inevitable joy and happy tears that you're now at. And suddenly you are restored. Suddenly you are in nirvana. Suddenly you see the perfection, the beauty, the love that's everywhere. And so you stand back up and you take a deep breath of sea air. You open your eyes and you give the ocean a big woo-hoo woo, and you go in to rock that house. Okay, I would recommend your homework is tomorrow morning. Get up and visualize for 3 minutes. Do the same silly thing until it gets boring, okay? It's not silly, but it doesn't have to be complicated, and you don't have to invent the wheel all over again. It's been great, it's been fun, and this has been a long session. So I've got to sign out with love in my heart for all of you. Thank you, and have a rocking week. We'll be talking tomorrow at the same bat time, same bat channel.